If I ruled the world, every day would be the first day of spring. Every heart would...
Welcome to a new edition of the Neon Jazz interview series with Los Angeles-based jazz violinist, songwriter, and author Nora Germain. We caught up with her in West Hollywood in early April 2020 during the COVID-19 quarantine to talk about this strange new world of no live jazz and a lot of ambiguity. She talks about live streams, projects, and hope for the future. Enjoy.
Well, I'm doing pretty good, all things considered, to be honest.
Yeah, you do so much stuff that has to be difficult.
Yes, well, it is difficult, but, I'm trying to be grateful, I'm healthy and mostly, and, I live in a beautiful place, and I have enough food to eat, and so I'm trying to count the little things these days,
Yeah, I dig it. So where exactly are you at on the planet?
I live in West Hollywood, Los Angeles.
Okay, good deal. So has things kind of slowed down? I know that everywhere has their tidal waves of things, but are you guys slowing down?
No, LA is still pretty much shut down right now. You can't go to the beach or anything right now. But I don't know when they plan to start reopening. I mean, there's still a lot of people dying here, so as there is everywhere, so... and obviously, there's a lot of things we still need to do, I think, but hopefully we'll get there soon, hopefully.
So I did see a report that they did open the beaches and they got slammed, so they're pulling back on that. Was that what happened?
It really depends on the beach, because some of the beaches are in Malibu, and then some, like Malibu County, and some of the beaches are state beaches, and then some of the beaches are run by LA. So it's possible that, different ones have, different rules. But as far as I know, Santa Monica and most of the beaches that I know, around me, those are closed. So I don't know how long they'll stay closed. But it would be nice to be able to go to the beach, because I think people kind of need that. But obviously, tricky, situation. So hopefully soon.
Yeah. Well, as a creative spirit, you obviously have to be I noticed in your email you're doing some things. Talk to me a little bit about what you're doing to feed your creative head over this quarantine time.
Well, there's just so much time, right? So you have to figure out what is the best use of that time, and I think everybody is different. Some people, really needed a break, so maybe this is just, a much-needed break for them. I think some people are spending time to start new things, take up a new skill or, start writing something. I've been practicing piano, which is a hobby of mine because I write songs on piano. But, so I have more time to do that. And then also I think a lot of people have taken this opportunity to just say, okay, well, life is not how it used to be, but that doesn't mean that things are over, So I try to make videos. I practice. I try to do collaboration videos. I've done a couple of interviews, live streaming, so I just try to even though life is not as we would like it to be, I still just try to keep putting things out and try to use the time wisely, because, time is a very precious thing. So whenever you have some of it, it's best to use it,
So you're just exercising that poet spirit.
I would say so, yeah. I am doing some relaxing as well, and, I'm not, working, insanely hard or anything, but I do try to get, at least something done every day that I'm proud of or that I feel like I made progress on, and obviously I have a lot more time to practice, so I think I'm actually better as a musician now than I was in February, just because I'm playing so much, and I was playing a lot before, but now, practicing is different than playing shows and recording because you really get to focus on what you want to do,
The one thing is I've been doing interviews and evolving the way I see things in the jazz community. The jazz community is a very strong community there's not a lot of basis for going after the money. It's an art form that's done because of the art form. There's obviously money, but it's not, it's not this lucrative art like other realms of music. And there's always innovation, and out of innovation comes a lot of creativity. Talk to me a little bit about the jazz. Talk to me, it's kind of a twofold. Talk to me a little bit about the jazz community now, and just kind of how fans can help jazz artists through this tough time.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of things people can do that are not even financial. Obviously, financial is great. I think a lot of people, I see a lot of my friends that are in jazz online, they do live streams, they take requests, they do collaboration videos with like one or more people. People are releasing music, they're recording at home, but I would say like the best thing that people can do to help musicians, besides just buying their merchandise or, you know, their music and also supporting their live streams, you know, whenever people have streams, is, some people are doing Skype lessons, which is great. People are also just in the category of non-financial contributions. You know, you can share somebody's music, you can comment on it, you can add their song to a playlist on Spotify so it gets more streams. You can share their song with a friend or, you know, share a video. So, like, people can grow their audience, which is, you know, basically how far somebody goes in their career is pretty much up to the audience. It's up to the fans. So, I mean, obviously, you know, the artist has a big part in that because the artist decides what they're going to do and how often they're going to do it and all that stuff. You know, the fans, especially on social media right now, because there's no shows, have like a tremendous amount of power. So I would say, you know, if you enjoy somebody's music, just keep sharing it, you know, because that can make a big difference. If a lot of people do that over a few weeks, you know, you can grow your audience by a lot and get more streams and make more money and all that stuff.
We're obviously going to get back to live music. I mean, there's obviously a big blanket of ambiguity over everything right now, but it's going to happen. Yeah. And when we do, what do you hope both the musician and the audience gets from this absence away from the music?
Well, I hope that we don't continue to take things for granted, like being able to play live and being able to play with each other. I think that we need to learn to not take those things for granted, you know, like, especially in like a big city like LA where I live, you know, there is a lot of access to amazing music and comedy and dance and all sorts of different stuff all the time. So people don't always take the opportunity to see a show because they're like, oh, well, there'll be another one, or, you know, that person will come back or whatever it is. But I hope that we don't take live performance for granted anymore. And another thing is I think that people will emerge with like a wider set of skills. You know, I think some people are working on arranging now. People are learning second instruments. People are composing and releasing music right now. People are learning to record both audio and video at home. So I think the entire creative community, not just jazz, but everybody, is going to emerge with more skills. So, you know, as you just said before, you know, sometimes a challenge, or you said something about how a challenge can bring out more creativity in people, or a limitation. And I fully believe that, even though it's very uncomfortable, you know. I do think that people are becoming more creative, and people are also becoming more tenacious, you know, because there's not really much of a motivating force right now for people to make music. They're not doing shows. You could just lay at home all day in your sweatpants, which is also fine. But I think people are really starting to realize how much they value making music and how much they value being able to do it live for other people. So I think we'll emerge from this with a very passionate feeling.
I agree. I think it's, at the end of the day, it's all life after all. And I think what's going to happen, what we're going to realize about the humans that were around, is the people they were before are only going to be magnified in ways that are similar to the way they were before this all happened. You know, I mean, if you're negative, you're negative. Well, if you're positive, you know.
Completely, and also because there's so much more sharing and streaming going on right now. People are constantly looking for new stuff. I think a lot of people will have discovered new artists during this time. You know, I've certainly gotten an uptick in, you know, my social media and my fans and stuff, because I think people are just sharing my stuff more now because they're at home more and they're watching more. And I think a lot of people will be introduced to artists that they maybe didn't know before. Which is, you know, obviously there's like an enormous amount of pain and suffering and death and, you know, just regular difficulty around the world. But hopefully maybe a small semblance of something positive is that some people will emerge with, access to musicians that they didn't know of before, which is great,
Absolutely. Hey, Nora, thank you for taking some time out today. Stay safe. I really appreciate it.
Of course. So nice to talk with you. Thanks for calling me.
Thanks for listening and tuning in to another Neon Jazz interview, where we give you a bit of insight into the finest singers and players in Los Angeles, Kansas City, and spots all over the world, giving fans all that jazz. And thanks to Nora for her time, music, and cool. If you want to hear more interviews, go to Famous Interviews with Joe Domino on the iTunes Store. Visit neonjazz at youtube.com, and for everything Neon Jazz all the time, go to the neonjazz.blogspot.com. Until next time, enjoy the jazz, my friends.
Neon Jazz.